Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to our Quranic Arabic course. This is Nahw lesson 26. In today's lesson, we continue discussing al-murakkabat, the noun relationships within sentences. And today we discuss al-mumayyaz with tamyiz, the clarifier and the clarified. So let's have a look at some examples. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وفجرنا الأرض عيونا. So the words in this verse, wa is a harf, فجرنا is a fi'l, a verb, and that begins a verbal sentence. Na is a ضمير متصل, attached pronoun. Al-arda, that's a noun, and uyuna, that's also a noun. So grammatically, the na, ضمير متصل, and fa'il, doer, second part of the verbal sentence, and al-arda, that's the maf'ul bihi, the direct object, and that wraps up that verbal sentence. And the meaning thus far is, and we caused the earth to burst. Now we have this noun uyuna left over, and together with it, the meaning thus becomes, and we caused the earth to burst with springs. So to understand what's happening here now, let's have a look at our notes. So a noun has the role of at-tamyiz if it is extra to the sentence, meaning the sentence has been completed already and there's a word left over, and this word then clarifies the essence or the proportion of another ambiguous noun or sentence before it. Also, if it is clarifying a noun, then it will be clarifying a number or a measure. The third point, the tamyiz is usually indefinite and will be in the state of nasb. And lastly, the noun or sentence that the tamyiz is clarifying is called the al-mumayyaz. So we can see this in practice by looking at the meaning of this verse again. And we caused the earth to burst with springs. So the earth to burst, that part of the sentence is vague and it's not too clear. But then the word uyuna then comes to clarify what is meant by the bursting, and what's meant there is that the earth burst with springs. So next example, Allahu asra'u makra. So here the word Allah is a noun, asra'u is a noun, and makra, that's a noun also. So the word Allah that becomes the mubtada, beginning a new nominal sentence, al-jumlatul ismiya, and asra'u, that noun is the khabar, then wrapping up that nominal sentence. So the meaning thus far is, Allah is swifter. So asra'u is vague. In which way is Allah swifter? Then the noun makra then comes and clarifies the word asra'u, and then the meaning becomes, Allah is swifter in strategy. And so the word makra is the tamyiz in the state of nasb, and the word asra'u is the mumayyaz. So let's have a look at some more examples. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم تمتعوا في داركم ثلاثة أيام. So the analysis of this verse, تمتعوا فعل أمر beginning a جملة فعلية verbal sentence. The واو is ضمير متصل attached pronoun, and its role is فاعل مرفوع in the state of رفع. That's the second part of the verbal sentence. في is حرف الجر. دار is a noun, and its role is اسم مجرور in the state of jar. The حرف الجر and the اسم المجرور together is شبه الجملة, and that becomes متعلق to the فعل أمر before. Then كم is a ضمير متصل attached pronoun. Its role is مضاف إليه in the state of jar, and that makes دار the مضاف. Then ثلاثة, that is a ism, a noun. Its role is مفعول به منصوب in the state of nasb, and that is the third part of that verbal sentence. Then the word أيام after that is a noun. Its role is مضاف إليه in the state of jar, making ثلاثة the مضاف. And the meaning for that verse, enjoy yourselves in your homes for 3 days. Now coming back to the topic at hand, which is the tamyiz and mumayyaz. Looking at this verse, the analysis seems to be complete. However, if we look at the word thalathata in this context, the word thalathata here is a number meaning 3. So numbers by its nature are vague. In other words, if I say, for example, I bought 3, I need to clarify what I mean by 3. 3 what? So I bought 3 houses, or I bought 3 cars, etc. So, in other words, the word ayyam following thalathat ayyam is actually clarifying what the 3 is referring to here. So if we go to the meaning, enjoy yourselves in your homes for 3 what? For 3 days. So technically, the word ayyam can be further analyzed to be the tamyiz. But for our purposes right now, and for simplicity's sake, we will just conclude that ayyam is the mudaf ilay. Next example. فَإِن طِبْنَ لَكُمْ عَنْ شَيْءٍ مِّنْهُ نَفْسًا. So let's have a look at the grammar. فا is حرف الاستئناف. إن is حرف الشرط. طِبْنَ, that's a فعل ماضي, past tense verb, beginning a verbal sentence, جملة فعلية. نا is a ضمير متصل. Its role is فاعل, مرفوع in the state of رفع. That's the second part of the verbal sentence. لا is حرف الجر. كم ضمير متصل, attached pronoun. Its role is اسم المجرور in the state of jar. The حرف الجر and the اسم المجرور becomes شبه الجملة and becomes متعلق, connected to the verb before it, the فعل ماضي, past tense verb. عن is حرف الجر. شيء is a noun and its role is اسم المجرور in the state of jar. The حرف الجر and اسم المجرور becomes شبه الجملة and also متعلق, connected to the verb also. من is حرف الجر. Who is ضمير متصل, attached pronoun. Its role is اسم المجرور in the state of jar. The حرف الجر and اسم المجرور together becomes the شبه الجملة and متعلق also to the فعل ماضي before it. Then the word نفسه, it's a noun and its role is تمييز, منصوب in the state of نصب, and the مميز will be the جملة فعلية, the whole verbal sentence before it. And the meaning is, but if they give up willingly to you anything of it. So the word willingly there is clarifying the giving of them. So they are giving either forcefully or willingly. So we're clarifying that it's actually willingly. Next example. تذكر يوم كذا وكذا. So this example is actually not on the Quran. But let's look at the grammar. is حرف الاستفهام. تذكر is a فعل مضارع, present tense verb. That begins a new جملة فعلية, verbal sentence. On that verb we have a ضمير متصل, attached pronoun. Its role is فاعل, مرفوع in the state of رفع. That's the second part of the verbal sentence. Then يوم is a ظرف. Its role is مفعول فيه in the state of نصب. And that is the third part of that verbal sentence. Then كذا, that is a noun. Its role is مضاف إليه, مجرور in the state of jar. That means the word يوم is the مضاف. Then is حرف العطف. And كذا again, that's a noun. And its role is معطوف. And the previous كذا is then the معطوف عليه. So let's have a look at the meaning. Do you remember such and such a day? So though our analysis here is complete, if we look closely, the word يوم is actually vague here. And كذا is actually clarifying the vagueness in the يوم. So if you look at the meaning, do you remember a day? So what kind of day? Such and such a day. So كذا technically is also a tamyiz in this case. Next example. وكأي من نبي قاتل. So is حرف الاستئناف. كأي, that's a noun and its role is مبتدا مرفوع in the state of رفع. That begins a جملة اسمية, nominal sentence. من is حرف الجر and نبي, that's a noun. Its role is اسم المجرور in the state of jar. The حرف الجر and اسم المجرور becomes شبه الجملة and متعلق, connected to a خبر which is محذوف, implied, and the state is مرفوع. The خبر and the مبتدا then completes that جملة اسمية. Then قاتل is a فعل ماضي, past tense verb, beginning a new جملة فعلية, verbal sentence. Inside of قاتل we have a ضمير مستتر, an implied pronoun. His role is فاعل, doer, مرفوع in the state of رفع, and that wraps up our verbal sentence. So the meaning there is, and how many a prophet fought. So in this verse, the word nabiyin is also technically a tamyiz because it's clarifying the rest of the verse. So without the word nabiyin in the meaning would just be in how many fought. So we can ask the question, how many of what fought? So a prophet, min nabiyin, that is actually clarifying the rest of the verse. Next example, وَكَمْ مِنْ قَرْيَةٍ أَهْلَكْنَا. So wa is حرف الاستئناف. Kam is a ism. Its role is مبتدا مرفوع in the state of رف, beginning a new جملة اسمية, nominal sentence. Min is حرف الجر. قرية ism, and its role is اسم المجرور in the state of jar. Together the حرف الجر and اسم المجرور becomes شبه الجملة and متعلق connected to a خبر which is محذوف in a state of رف. That خبر and the مبتدا before it then wraps up that جملة اسمية. Then أهلكنا, it is a فعل ماضي past tense verb and that begins a جملة فعلية verbal sentence. The na is a ضمير متصل attached pronoun. Its role is فاعل doer مرفوع in the state of رف, and that wraps up that verbal sentence. So the meaning there is, and how many a city have we destroyed? So similar to the previous example, the word قرية here, even though it's ismul majrur, it could be further analyzed to be the tamyiz within the sentence. Because if we look at the meaning and how many a city have we destroyed, so a city is the clarifying of the word many come before it. So for simplicity's sake, we leave it as ismul majrur, but we could further analyze it as tamyiz also. So to summarize, a noun has the role of a tamyiz if it is extra to the sentence and it clarifies the essence or proportion of an ambiguous noun or sentence before it. If it is clarifying a noun, it will be clarifying a number or a measure. The tamyiz is usually indefinite and will be in the state of nasb. The noun or sentence that the tamyiz is clarifying is called the mumayyaz. So that's today's lesson. For homework, please revise it and complete the exercises on the Google Classroom stream or do the exercises on page 53 of the workbook. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.